When it comes to developing a new brand, starting a new business, or trying to grow an existing business further, one of the things I think that is critical as a step one is having the ability to effectively craft your vision. For me personally, a vision is the ability to understand what is at the end of the rainbow for you personally, professionally, for your organisation. What's at the end of that rainbow? And it doesn't always have to be a pot of gold. For me personally, it's always about creating a level of freedom to do what I wanted to do, when I wanted to do it, and how I wanted to do it. The other thing I would say, obviously we have a room full of entrepreneurs today, but this crafting your vision is relevant, whether you're an entrepreneur, an organisation, startup, a multinational. Very, very strong vision is absolutely critical. The next thing I would say, apart from having a sound strategy for yourself, for your business, for your brand, for your large organisation, is your mindset. So your mindset absolutely determines your outcomes. You want big? Think big. But your mindset is really key in determining the outcomes for you, your brand, your business, your large enterprise, whatever that may be. Which leads me to my next topic, and arguably the biggest barrier to growth and creating a vision and having a strong mindset and achieving amazing things, whatever those amazing things may be for you. And that is fear. Fear is a barrier to all of these wonderful things, to growth, to happiness. So overcoming fear is really important. Having the confidence in yourself, in your ability, removing yourself from your comfort zone, and being conscious that you are fearful of certain things is step one. Overcoming that fear, moving through it. Fabulous saying that I love. Fear is a liar. I love that saying, and it is, in most instances, true. Fear is unnecessary, but it is a very large barrier. I hope that was really thought-provoking. I've always enjoyed reading and listening to things that are thought-provoking. I've always looked at people that I admire and businesses that I admire, and I've always said to myself, you know, if you can do it, I can too. So I hope that resonated nicely with everyone. As you know, I am and have been involved in some really, really fabulous brands from a startup position over the last few years in particular. And I'm going to talk about one today, which is up on the screen here. There's some really key important parts that are absolutely critical when it comes to developing a new brand, new business, whether it's a service business, whether it's a B2B business or B2C business. Number one is really understanding the consumer in a very, very deep way. So who's your consumer? What does he or she do? It's their family situation. What do they enjoy consuming? And why? And how? And when? Age and gender is important, but it's a bit of a dated approach, I must say. It's all about their lifestyle and why do they consume what they consume. Number two is being different. So really critical is to be different. Resonate with consumers and be different. The two most important things. In my game, in the food and beverage game, it's be delicious. Sounds ridiculous. Sounds obvious as well, but be amazed how many food and beverage products out there that are not delicious. The majority, in fact. If you're a service business, you want a world-class service, whatever you're doing needs to be world-class, the product or the service. And finally, a brand with purpose, fabulous brand with purpose. And by the word purpose, we're talking about doing good for communities and or doing good for the planet. So nothing dips. Hayden and I stood in front of the dip fridge in the middle of 2021, and we saw very clearly that the dip fridge, full of plastic, full of preservatives, everything looked the same, an absolute sea of plastic. And for the most part, the quality and the flavour profile, I'd be between 6.5 and 7.5 out of 10, which was great, because Hayden and I looked at each other like this and said, how about we try and do the opposite of all of that? And that's what we did. Delicious dips in a paper-based tub with no preservatives, with a packaging design that was very simple but exceptionally different in that sea of plastic and that sea of highly graphic design. So this was 3 years ago when we kicked this brand off, March 2022. It was very, very interesting, straight into Woolworths, and since then we're now in every single supermarket in Australia, and it's become a significant business from a humble small family business in the country town of Victoria, an absolutely mind-blowing 3 years that has exceeded everyone's expectation. And when I analyse how did this happen, it really comes back down to those few pieces that we chatted about before. Delicious, stands out, is different, great brand. And there's one more piece also. It was absolutely impeccable timing. Timing is critical. Not too early, where consumers don't care too much about the paper-based tub or they don't understand what you're doing, and then not too late, where there's so many competitors you can't stand out. So timing is really key. Also, the supermarkets were stopping plastic bags in 2022, so it's perfect timing. The awareness of plastic reduction in Australia was off the charts, so it was absolutely perfect in that regard also. 2025, Nothing was a Australian Finance Review Fast 100 brand in the top half of the 100. Absolutely fabulous, fabulous story. And as I said, all of this in 3 years. We are removing 300 tonnes of dip fridge plastic by 2030, so we're absolutely elated with that vision, and we're halfway on that journey. And one of the things that I absolutely love about developing new brands and product ranges for the marketplace is that there is absolutely no ceiling. There is no ceiling. There's no ceiling for me, there's no ceiling for this brand, and most importantly for all of you entrepreneurs sitting in this room today, there's no ceiling for you either.